Good morning. Good morning. Welcome home to Unity of Arlington. We're so very pleased that you're here today with us in our lovely sanctuary as well as online, wherever you may be watching us. So let's start this thing off with some music. How about that? All right, now you're going to know this one, so please go ahead and sing along.
Your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait. For you and me, we'll live in unity. Put a little love in your heart. You want the world to know it's time to let love flow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait. For you and me, you just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your. Put a little love in your. Put a little love in your heart. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Unity of Arlington. I'm Steve Morris. I'll be your platform leader this morning. Reverend Ann Tabor is taking some time off, and so it is my great joy to be with you and kind of help keep things moving along. And the first thing we have to do, because I have to do the things the way we normally do them, right? So we need to sing the good morning song, so please join me. Good morning, it's great to celebrate. Good morning to you. I don't know if that's the only part we do. I usually do the rest of it, but I think we just do the short part. So I'm doing the short version this morning. We are very grateful that you're here this morning in person and online. This is the day that the Lord has made, so let us rejoice and be glad in it. It also means that we get to do church here together in the sanctuary and, as we like to say, love streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube this morning. This is a place that we get to open our hearts, open our minds, and we are always open to the call of Spirit. And we'd like to say that you are here by divine appointment, so thank you for keeping your appointment with Spirit this morning. A reminder that we're doing everything we can to create a safe environment in our sanctuary space. Currently, Tarrant County is rated high for community spread, so please follow all those CDC guidelines and recommendations. Wear your mask indoors, be careful when you're out and about, because it's high. And while we're not going to be doing an official greeting here during the service, we do ask those of you that are online to say hello in the chat box. Let us know that you're here and greet each other in the chat box so that you can feel more a part. You can also, if you're here for the very first time, hi, welcome first timers. Please go to unityofarlington.org and click on the green sign up button at the top of the page so that we have your current information. That's our best way to serve you and help meet your needs. And now I would like to go ahead and introduce our fabulous guest speaker for today. She's going to be joining us right after the meditation. I'm so excited that you're here because your last talk here was phenomenal. It was so great, so strong. I've been thinking about it since you were here. So, and we also have been with us online before, but I'm really thrilled you're back in person. Dr. Tracy Brown. And since 1986, Tracy Brown has used universal spiritual principles to infuse her life with peace and joy. Dr. Donald Curtis was her first New Thought teacher, and Unity of Dallas was her first New Thought spiritual home. Her personal motto is, I love this motto, I'm going to adopt it myself, you always have a choice. You always have a choice. Reverend Ann likes to make y'all repeat things, so let's repeat that. You always have a choice. Say it.
Always have a choice.
Living the principles of New Thought in every aspect of her life is her commitment, and helping others do the same is her passion. Tracy is the author of several books. Her latest book is Stained Glass Spirit, Becoming a Spiritual Community Where Oneness Does Not Require Sameness. And her book, I Turn to Prayer, is a collection of prayers written in a variety of formats. Please give a warm welcome and a loving Unity welcome in person and online to Dr. Tracy Brown. I'm going to try and zip this all along and zip the meditation along so we can get to her and her powerful talks. So. But first, Mary Ortiz is here to share the reading of the Daily Word this morning in Spanish, and then I'll read the Daily Word in English for today, Sunday, July 31st, 2022.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos días. Disculpen, tengo que usar mi teléfono porque no pude imprimir. I cannot print it out. So, hoy voy a dar la palabra diaria por el domingo 31 de julio del 2022. La palabra de hoy es dejar ir. Y la afirmación es dejar ir y dejar a Dios actuar me bendice. Si siento estrés debido a un desafío o una decisión importante, dejo ir y dejo a Dios actuar. Cuando dejo ir, estoy poniendo mi confianza en la mente divina, la fuente de infinito potencial. Creo que hay soluciones que mi mente humana limitada simplemente no puede concebir. Cuando pongo todo en manos de Dios, confío en que su gracia bendecirá mi vida maravillosamente. Vivo mi fe al dejar ir y dejar a Dios actuar. Libero todo reto ante la verdad espiritual, ante la presencia y el poder de Dios. Creo que el resultado va a ser mucho mejor de lo que pude haber imaginado. Afirmo, dejo ir, dejo a Dios actuar y me sereno sabiendo que soy amado profundamente y bendecido abundantemente. No se turbe su corazón. Ustedes creen en Dios, crean también en mí. Juan 14:1. Nuevamente la palabra de hoy es dejar ir y la afirmación es dejar ir y dejar a Dios actuar me bendice. Buenos días. Good morning.
Mine is not on my phone, but just to be fair, the words are just as small. Our word for today is actually a phrase, let go, let God. Our affirmation, I bless myself when I let go and let God. If I find myself ruminating over a concern or a weighty decision, I release its grip on my attention by letting go and letting God. When I let go, I am placing my trust in divine mind, the source of infinite potential. I believe there are solutions and remedies of which my limited human mind simply cannot conceive. When I let God, I am trusting the grace of God will bless my life in the most wondrous and surprising ways. Letting go and letting God is how I live my faith. I surrender to spiritual truth, the presence and power of God, and believe the best outcome is going to be so much better than anything that I can imagine. I affirm, I let go and let God, and I relax into the knowing I am deeply loved and abundantly blessed. Our scripture this morning is from John, the 14th chapter, the first verse. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. Our affirmation, I bless myself when I let go and let God. And our phrase, let go, let God. And now I invite you to take those words into your heart and set your prayerful intention this morning for our service, knowing that as you ask believing, you are already receiving. It just takes a moment. And so it is. At this time, I would like to ask our prayer chaplain, Teresa Riggs, to come forward and to light our Christ candle. We light the Christ candle each week as a symbol, a reminder of the Christ light that is within each and every one of us. It is our reminder that we are the light of the world and we are meant to shine. Now, Teresa will be here at the front of the sanctuary after the service to offer one-on-one prayer support. Please know that anything that you talk to or pray with a prayer chaplain about is confidential. We also, for those who go online, can go and have prayer support by going to unityofarlington.org, click on the prayer request button, fill out the form, and send it in. You can also do that in person if you would like to by filling out a form here, place it in our prayer chest. Thank you, Vanna. And our prayer chaplains will pray for those requests in any way that they get them for 30 days, and then they will send those on to Silent Unity for an additional 30 days of prayer. So if you would like some prayer support this morning, if you would like to pray in celebration with someone, please take advantage of that. And now, please join me in our opening prayer. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good. I'm going to turn the page so I can tell you what's next. I believe now that our singers are going to come back and will prepare for meditation.
There is one love.
Now, if you will close your eyes, if you're comfortable, and relax. Get comfortable in your chair. Let it support you. Take a deep breath in together. Slowly exhale. You may want to place your hands on your lap, feet on the floor so you're nice and grounded. Your hands in an open position, upwards, ready to receive. And as you breathe and you take in the breath, picture the air that is going in as being clean and crisp and full of love as it fills you up. And as you exhale, let that air that you breathe out take away any tension or stress. As you exhale, let it remove any doubts or trouble in your body or your mind. Let go of all of that for right now. Let's take another deep breath in together and exhale. And as you breathe, know that within every cell of your body, divine intelligence is directing divine ideas of love, strength, vitality, and purposefulness throughout your body. And as you continue to be aware of your intake and exhale of air, let each breath deepen your connection to spirit. Feel that connection to God, to the universe. And open your heart, your soul, and your mind to hear the message that Spirit, that God, that the universe wants to remind you of. That you are love. You are part of God, and God is love. God is all there is, and you are part of that. So, you are love. You are always and forever connected to Spirit, to God, and you are powerful. You have the strength and the wisdom to create the life that you want. You no longer are allowed to worry. You're no longer allowed to doubt. You're not allowed to let those things hold you back. You will embrace your power to live differently, to choose how you show up in the world, to choose how you see yourself. You will go forward knowing that you can create a life and a world that is full of peace and love and joy. You are a part of God, and God is love. And love is all there is. In this moment, you know that to be true, that you are love and that you are loved. You are filled with love, and so there is no room for self-doubt. You no longer need that. So in this moment, you release it, and you feel the love. You are filled with love, and so there is no room for anger. You no longer have a need of that, and so you release it, and you just feel love. Filled with love, and so there is no room for anything that holds you back or blocks you from feeling that love. And so as you take a deep breath of love in, you release the rest. And so there is only love. As we move into the silence, you will feel the love moving through you. You will feel your connection to Spirit. And as we move into the silence, you will realize anything that is not love, anything that was bothering you fades away with each breath. And the love continues to grow and fills you with peace. As we rest in this moment, in peace and in love, in the silence. Divine love, we're grateful that in this moment you are engulfing every fiber of our being, and that we have the choice and the ability to be divine love at any time, because that is our true nature. That is who we are. There is only love. We know this to be true, and we must remember that knowing is not enough. We must choose to act on it. We are the source of love in the world. We are love in action. We are divine love. We will remember to choose love, to choose to be love, to choose to share love in the world. After all, love is who we are. And so it is. As you're comfortable, start bringing your attention back to the room. Open your eyes, wiggle your toes and fingers. And as you feel ready, please join in singing, I Am So Blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I don't know if I can talk. That meditation took me like deeper and deeper and deeper. Love, that is who you are, who I am, who we are. Why is it that we forget that? It's kind of strange, isn't it? So even though I haven't been here physically with you in the last few weeks, I've been with you online, and it has been fascinating to pay attention to Reverend Ann talking about fear and doubt and worry. And I knew that I was going to be saying, okay, now you got all your fear and your doubt and your worry handled. We're ready for action. Yeah. And I'm going to do that. But I just find it supremely ironic that the universe decided or thought it would be fun to have me experience fear, worry, and doubt all in the same time to see if I really would move into action. And I thought about that this week, and I thought, well, I guess I needed a story to tell, because, you know, when you give a talk, you're supposed to tell a story. And so literally last Saturday, I got to experience the ways that Reverend Ann talked about the way that fear creeps in and you don't even recognize it, you don't even think about it, just all of a sudden you're behaving from fear because it has taken over and you weren't planning that, and that the doubt that things are going to work out, it's like I didn't program my brain to do that. But it does it because it has been programmed by everything in our society and in our world. And so last Saturday, I'd had a great week in Chicago, and it was time to come back to Dallas, and I was relaxed and really ready to come home. And I had given myself the gift of not scheduling a 6, 7, or 8 a.m. flight. So I could ease through the morning and then get to the airport around noon and have a 2 o'clock or 2:30 flight. My day was planned. It was beautiful. And as I'm driving to the airport, my phone buzzes, and I'm not really paying attention to it, but it's a text message, and I'm like, I don't know. So there's a stoplight. I'm like, let me pick up my phone. It's probably just Southwest saying your flight's on time. I'm so glad my intuition said check your phone, because the text said your flight has been delayed. Oh, good. I can relax. I can even stop and get something to eat before I go to the airport. And about 10 minutes later, I'm about to pull over and go into a restaurant, and the text message comes in, and it says, canceled. Your flight is canceled, right? You can guess this. And I'm like, well, this is not good. I am speaking Sunday morning. I need to get home. But there's 6 or 7 flights between now and later. Southwest has a lot of flights to and from Chicago. And so I say, before you pull back out into traffic, go online. Go online, because I had some doubt that my flight being canceled was a good thing. And I found myself worrying. Will I get back? Well, what'll happen if I don't get back? Oh, well, I need to let this person know and this person know, and I need to make sure that there's a backup for me. I'm already worrying about all the things that are going to go wrong, and I catch myself, and I go, wait a minute, what if everything went right? What if everything went right? Oh, that'll never happen. That is what my brain said. That'll never happen. And literally that thought, that will never happen, it can't go right. You know how this is. You knew that the flight had to be canceled. That's the next thing, right? Because that's what we're reading about. That's what is in the atmosphere. That is what is telling our brain what to think. And so, in doubt and worry and fear that I would let people down or that I would cause a commotion, I got on my phone, called Southwest. Your wait, the average wait, is more than 120 minutes. So I go and I look at the flights that are available just to see what are my chances. Canceled, no available seats, no available seats, no available seats. 1 seat available, no available seats, no available seats. I'm like, oh my goodness, they must have canceled a lot of flights and they're putting us people on all these flights and I will never get home. Oh my God. Oh wait, there's 1 available seat, 1 available seat, 1 available seat. I have to change planes where? Okay, well, Kansas City's not so bad. 1 available seat. Okay, I'll buy it. Thank God for credit. So, so I buy the ticket. So I'll figure out all the details later, but I was still in that fear and worry because I'm going, all right, I got to get to the airport because even though this flight's not for 3 more hours, like it might get canceled too. And like all this stuff is going in my head. So I get to the airport, it's about 20 minutes away from where I was sitting in the car getting a flight. And I get to the airport, I turn in the rental car and I go into the airport. And that's when I notice I am operating from fear. I am operating from doubt. I am operating from worry. And at the same time, there's a little spark, a little tiny, tiny, tiny spark that's like whispering in my brain. Thank you for listening to me and buying that flight. Oh, okay, so maybe it is gonna work out. And I sat down on the bus, the shuttle bus from the car rental location to the terminal, and I went on Facebook and I typed a prayer request. Didn't go through all the drama, didn't tell them all the reasons why it shouldn't work. I was just like, yeah, y'all might want to pray that everything comes together and works for my good and gets me back to Dallas tonight. Saturday night, Tracy in Dallas. Now, in the meantime, what happened right about the same time was I got a text from Southwest and it said, we've rescheduled you. Since your flight was canceled, we got you. We're taking care of you. We have confirmed you on a return flight to Dallas at 9 p.m. It gets in at 11:30. Sunday. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. So I'm so glad I wasn't waiting and just expecting something to happen and I took action, but it really kept going through my mind. Where are you taking your action from? And the moment that I put that prayer request on Facebook, I didn't even have to read all the responses. I didn't have to pay attention to the answers to prayer, the answers to the prayer requests that were coming in, because I could feel them. All of a sudden, even looking at the text message saying, oh, thank you, Southwest. At least you put me on a confirmed flight. It wasn't my idea to get back home at 11:30 p.m. on Sunday night, but I'm glad. I'm talking to myself. But I'm so grateful that you took care of this even before I got to the airport. And then I began to think, how great is it that I've flown enough that I understand a delay can turn into a cancellation really fast, and a cancellation means you better find a way home as fast as you can. Or if I hadn't been speaking Sunday morning last week, I tell you, I would have been like, ooh, I can stay in Chicago another day. What a gift. I can go roller skating Sunday morning. I can go see some friends Sunday afternoon. And then, so it's like the universe knows that too. Tracy staying in Chicago through Sunday during the day could be a really good thing. So why am I telling you this story? Yes, it pulls together all of the pieces of what we've been thinking about during the month of July. But it also strikes me when I think about the unity principles. The fifth principle is that knowledge of spiritual principle is not enough. We must live spiritual principle. We must live it. It doesn't say, fifth principle of unity principles doesn't say, we must live it perfectly in every moment and every breath. Because the principle is always true, but our human behavior and experience sometimes creates a little opportunity for us. But we have principle to return to again and again and again. And I love what happened with me last weekend because it helped me clearly see the both and. That sometimes we don't even recognize where we're coming from, and we can notice it, become aware of it, and then choose. So, yes, my motto is, you always have a choice. You can't control what happens to you. I cannot control what you think about me. I cannot control what you say to me or that you do to me. I can't control any of that. But I get to choose how I respond to it. So in this idea of being very consciously in choice about the actions that I take, then I am reminded that it's up to me to know spiritual principle, yes, but I also have the responsibility to live in spiritual principles. So when I think about that, I think about three things. One, I have to show up. And sometimes I have to stand up. And I get the opportunity to speak up. So I'm going to ask you this morning to be thinking about what it means to show up, what it means to stand up, and what it means to speak up. Let's start with show up. How many of you, by show of hands, and if you're online, you can put a yes or a Y in the chat or comments. How many of you feel like you truly show up in a way that people see you as an example of love? And I know none of us do it 100% of the time. So I'm going to say, is that your predominant pattern? At work, in your community, how many of us show up in a consistent way that other people would know we see ourselves as an example of God? Yeah. We can choose to do that. See, when we show up, we're showing up reflecting our deepest beliefs. Now, I know some of you didn't write yes in the chat, and some of you did not raise your hands because it's like, Well, I don't want to brag. I don't want to look like I'm too full of myself. But the way we show up is a reflection of our beliefs. And in Unity and in New Thought, overall, we believe that each one of us has been born as an original blessing. We are not born of sin. We are born as an original blessing. And when we recognize that each one of us is a unique individual expression of the creator of all life, and we bring that into the world, if we believe that, then more often than not, we are going to show up where, as in the Bible, Jesus says, when you see me, you see the Father. You see God in the flesh. That's my belief, and that is how I intend to show up. And I think I can raise my hand and say more often than not, that is how I actually show up, because when I'm not showing up that way, I notice it. It's like that's not the norm. That's not the exception. So the first part of action is to show up as your deepest beliefs. And that includes showing up for yourself. Do my beliefs allow me to show up as love? As Steve said in the last part of that meditation, right? Love is who you truly are. Love is who I truly am. And I want to show up that way for others, for the world, and for myself. So show up. Speak up. Ooh, no, stand up. Show up, stand up. I want to stand up before I speak out, because I don't want to speak out or speak up from this little tiny place. So I want to stand up first. And stand up is about the action we take. So from belief, how I show up, to behavior or my actions, how I stand up. And often we think in New Thought, we are thinking about how I stand up for my own life so that my life can be great. But how each one of us stands up for ourselves creates a collective consciousness, a cultural feeling or belief, right? A cultural atmosphere. And so even if I think, well, what I want is most important. Oh, I'm just living for me. Oh, I want to have the car that I want. I want to live in a house in the neighborhood that feels good to me. I want to go to Europe on vacation, or Africa, or wherever in the world I want to go. I want to do the things that I can do, and that is a demonstration that I am loved by the Creator, and I must be living right. And that's what my New Thought teaching teaches me, to create a life I love, because I know the law of attraction. You haven't heard about the law of attraction? Oh, just look at my life. Look how beautiful my life is. When we get so anchored in these principles are only about creating my individual life and experience, we are not truly standing up for the love, the joy, the peace, the harmony, the wholeness that has been intended in the creation of life in all of its infinite forms. It's a very selfish and tiny view of how to apply the principles. And so I want to invite you this week to also think about how you are standing up for these universal principles expressing themselves in the world not just your personal world, but the whole world, which is actually your world too, because you are me and I am you, and there is no separation, there is no unity unless you have lots of diversity that is moving forward together. If everybody's exactly the same, it's not unity, it's cloneship. So, right, we're all different, and unity is a representation of that. And unity from a spiritual perspective is reminding us that when we live in unity with spiritual principle, what was the song? The world can be a better place for you, for me. Just wait and see, right? Give a little love, be a little love, share a little love. Teach a little love. How cool is that? It's like I could just hear them singing in my head, like, well, what were they singing? Oh, yeah, that is a perfect connection. So some of you know that I founded and I moderate a Facebook group, a public Facebook group called What Is Mine to Do? And it's a short version of what is mine to do to interrupt or end race-based hatred and violence. That's a lot to say. So, mine to do. What is mine to do? That's about taking action. It's no mistake. And while I understand that there can be a political perspective to that, I can tell you a secret. And that secret is that my motivation, my number one motivation around encouraging people to answer that question, what is mine to do, comes from this spiritual teaching that we have. That every person has been created on purpose from a divine love to be love in the world. And so what's mine to do to make that happen? That's the action. And for you, it may not be a commitment to taking action around race-based hatred and violence. It may be you saying, oh, my action, my standing up, demonstrating that I have moved beyond fear, beyond doubt, and beyond worry, is to make these choices about my own education or my own family or the relationships I'm in. And for someone else, it might be, oh, I'm going to demonstrate that I have moved beyond fear, beyond worry, and beyond doubt, and what is mine to do, or what the action I am going to take, is to be involved in a different social challenge, a challenge in society. Maybe I'm committed. I have a good friend who's very committed to green living and sustainability. But she doesn't just talk about it, she takes action. She doesn't just believe it's important, her behavior demonstrates it. So action, action, action. Number one, you're going to show up. Number two, you're going to stand up. And then number three, I want you to speak up. So it could be about the same thing that you are standing up about, like you stand up and take some action, but what are the words that you say? And where do you say them? It's so, so important. And the words that you say, are they representing that love that you are? Are you coming from love, or are you coming from some human emotion? Show up. Stand up, speak up. I'm smiling because it sounds so simple. But if you're like me, you know how hard it is sometimes. Because just like last Saturday, when I got that first text message, 10 minutes later followed by next text message, My human brain and nervous system has been so trained to go to fear and doubt and worry. Don't beat yourself up about that. Train yourself to notice it so that then you can instead choose to show up, to stand up, and then to speak up. Because that in reality is the demonstration of our spiritual principles, what we ultimately do or say, not what our first thought is. Do we let the fear, doubt, and worry back us up? Or do we say, no, I know that God is good. I know that everything is good or leading to good. I know that there is only one peace in the universe, and I step into that flow now. Whatever it is that you need to affirm to remind yourself to actually be consciously contributing to good in the world, that is the practice. It's not hiding in meditation or just writing or speaking a prayer. It's how we integrate it into everything that we do and everything that we say. My number one favorite spiritual book is a book titled The Sacred Yes by Reverend Deborah L. Johnson. It is the book that has pulled together all of my different backgrounds in religion and theology and philosophy into one place. And in The Sacred Yes, I think on page 4, in The Sacred Yes, Rev D writes something about the difference between mastery and embodiment. And that is the key to action, action, action. It is important to have mastery of the words, of the philosophy, of the ideas, so that you can access them on the fly, so that you know where to go or what to go back to reinforce whatever it is that you believe. Mastery is important, but it is not good enough. What the goal is embodiment. And so this week, I'm going to invite you to pay attention to what action you are taking and how are you embodying the principle just the way the fifth principle in Unity asks you to do, to go beyond knowledge and to live the principles. Can you do that? Are you willing to do that? No, we don't want to work that hard, Tracy. Don't hold me accountable. Tracy's not going to hold you accountable because I'm not likely to see you. But if you're willing to hold yourself accountable for that, then join me this week in doing this. Let's anchor that in a little bit of prayer, affirmative prayer. As I exhale, I release everything that no longer serves me. And I inhale the reminder that there is enough and that there is perfection and that there is a creator that has created everything to work together for good. I know that this creator is the source of my life and the life of everyone within the sound of my voice, as well as the life of all mankind, all humanity, and all other creatures, the universe, the stars, the water, the oceans, the squirrel, the hummingbird, everything. Knowing the principles of life and the spiritual principles and how they work is so important. But right here and right now, I accept that knowing these principles is the foundation, but what builds the life is living the principles. So I claim and I declare that unity principle number 5 is a grounding principle for me. It is a grounding principle for us, and each one of us decides how to evolve from knowing the principle to living the principle. And we do this with curiosity, we do this with joy, and we do this with an expectation for a good life to unfold. So this week, we commit to show up for ourselves and for others. We commit to stand up and let our actions speak for our beliefs, and we commit to speak up and through our words be the example of love expressing. I'm so grateful for being able to claim this right here and right now, knowing that it is possible and that I am possible. I am the one who lets a little love be what people see and receive from me. Let's affirm this together and claim it as already complete in universal mind. Please repeat after me. Ashe. Aho. Amin. And so it is. Amen.
Tracy, thank you so much for that reminder to actually take action. It's not enough just to know it. We have to take action, so thank you. And now is the time in our service where we get to take a little action to bless and support this ministry by sharing our love offerings and our giving with our spiritual family here at Unity of Arlington. We encourage you also to give online. However, we do have a basket in the foyer that you can put your love offering in today if you'd like to. We're open to receive. Your gifts and your contribution help us to pursue our mission, which is, say it with me, we empower people to live thriving spiritual lives. As you know, there are 3 ways that you can give. You can go to the website, unityofarlington.org, and click on the donate button. That is very easy. You can go to text to give on your phone. I'm gonna do it right now. Because this is the time that I always do it, so. And it's already in there, and it's really simple. And you just set it up through Tithely. Done. And you just text the word give with no quotes, right? What's that? You're taking action. I'm taking action! 844-363-7894. I'm sure you all got that very quickly. Hopefully you can find that in the chat box somewhere. Someone will put it in there, or you can look it up if you haven't already gone to Tithely. But again, it's super easy once you set it up. You can also mail your check in to 3525 South Bowen Road, Arlington, Texas 76016. And wouldn't that be fun to get a check or a donation in the mail instead of bills or other things? So do that if you think that's fun. Whatever it is or however you choose to donate today, you may want to hold your gift in your hand physically or symbolically, and let's say our offertory prayer. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and so it is. And now, because we have donated, let us also bless that offering. Together, we accept these gifts with gratitude. We bless the gifts and the giver. We share them with joy. We use them with wisdom. We are blessed, grateful, and prosperous, and so it is. So it is. And our announcements are next Sunday, August 7th. We're happy to welcome back Reverend Larry Gould, who will be our guest speaker. Her title is We All Live Downstream. I don't know how I feel about that. So I guess we're gonna have to come and find out. Reverend Larry says, you've probably heard the sins of the father are passed down to the son. I prefer to think that humility, love, and compassion are passed down to those I leave behind. What kind of legacy are you leaving behind? I believe we all have the innate desire to bring forth the Christ consciousness that resides within us. And so this is our opportunity to exemplify that consciousness so that it might be passed on to future generations. So, all right, that sounds better than living downstream, so that's good. All right, we love having Reverend Larry here as our guest speaker, so please come and hear her talk. And now if my song leaders will slap on your happy hats. And we will all sing to remind ourselves and any children that are with us or watching to shine our lights by singing This Big Light of Mine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And now please join me in our closing community prayer. We are here to shine as the light of God. I am the light of God. We are here to embrace as the love of God. I am the love of God. We are here to stand in the truth as the power of God. I am the power of God. And we are here to radiate as the presence of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, be our family. Let us walk with each other Tracy Brown. Thank you for being with us, for sharing your message with us. Thank you to all of the tech people in the back. You did a great job. Nothing happened wrong. It was great. Thank you, song leaders. And now I invite you to call to mind your prayerful intention for the service that you set when we started. Take with you what you received here. Take this message into your heart and out into the world as you go about your precious lives. And remember, you are a beloved child of God. And as God's child, you are wise, loving, healthy, and happy. And in the sunshine of God's loving care, you are free to develop according to the divine pattern of perfection that is within you and only you. Peace and blessings until next time. Thank you for being here. Have a good week.